Okay, we are live, and you see it scrolling on the screen, and it's confirmed today that Gareth Southgate has quit his role as England football team manager after 8 years. I knew it's going to come after England lost to Spain in the Euro 2024 final. 2 Euro finals in a row we lost. I did a video on Time to Go Gareth on my main channel, Central Man Network. Subscribe to that. So yeah. And also this is the first live I'm doing on the new channel, Central Man Sports. It'll be the first of many. And yeah, I'll get my thoughts on Gareth Southgate's, not just for the rest of England's performance at Euro 2020, but his tenure as England manager. I'll speak a brief about who's going to replace him and the English game. Probably do future videos on that in the foreseeable future. So yeah, I'm going to say it once again. If you're tuning in, the biggest news in the footballing world is that Gareth, actually two, I might do another one. The second one is about Kylian Mbappe. Did his presentation as a Real Madrid player, and the second biggest story in this country is Gareth Southgate has quit as England manager. And wow, I knew it. Like I said, I knew it's going to happen. And I know I'm repeating myself, but I think I think time has come to an end. I think he knows that for the last few months now. Like people say he should have left after some people say he should have resigned after we lose to Italy in the Euro final 3 years ago. But I think he's got a little bit of the gas a little bit in the tank. He's got a little bit in the tank to go on to the next few tournaments. Qatar 2022, I think, should be the appropriate time. But I think, I think the Euros, I think he wants to do 2 Euros, 2 World Cups. That swan song against Spain 2 days ago was the swan song for Gareth Southgate. It's really sad. You thought he's going to leave on a high, winning that Euros, and it's just what it is. It's hard. It's just proving that international football is hard. He took the job in 2016 after, Sam Allardyce, the whole betting situation. I don't want to get into that. He took over. I think he took over as an interim manager now, because at the time he was the under-21 manager. So yeah, he was the interim manager. Now he's, managing England's first team full time. His first tournament was the World Cup in Russia in 2018. I thought I didn't know when Southgate got the job. I have no expectations of him as England manager because of his time at Middlesbrough and then managing the under-21s. So going into his first tournament as England manager, we're in a group alongside Tunisia, Panama, and Belgium. We beat Tunisia. We thrashed Panama, and then we got beat by Belgium. We qualified it as runners-up in group. I think it was Group F or Group G. I think it was Group G. I can't remember, but we got Colombia in the last 16. I thought we're going to get knocked out. Harry Kane scored the penalty in I think it was the second half of that game, and then we thought we're immediately advancing to the quarterfinals at normal time. Yerry Mina scored the equalizer. They pushed the game to extra time, and then move on to the dreaded penalty shootouts. I thought I don't like it because England had a track record of penalties. Great example, like losing to the penalties, shootouts against the Germans at Italy 90, Euro 96, Portugal, Portugal twice in Euro 2004, and World Cup 2006, including that game against Argentina in 1998, and plus Italy at Euro 2012 in the quarterfinals, when Henderson's missed that penalty. Thought we're going home, but instead they missed a penalty. Pickford saved, I think it was a rebate, and then Dyer scored. When Dyer scored that winning penalty, yes, it was the best, happiest day of my life. We actually won a penalty shootout. I think it's the first time we won a penalty shootout at a World Cup. Because we lost to Germany, Argentina, Portugal 3 times. The Colombia game was the 4th time we compete in a penalty shootout and won. And we play, people got to realize they got Falcao and James Rodriguez and Cuadrado. You can say, well, it's debatable of those players, but they've got some good players, Colombia. And then we got Sweden in the quarterfinals. We beat them with ease. And then we got Croatia in the semi-finals. We thought maybe we could have a chance to win the World Cup, Croatia, you got Modric, Perisic, Mandzukic, Demlot, we went 1-0 up by the goal by Kieran Trippier. I thought, yep, we're gonna probably beat them. But instead, we backed out. Harry Kane had that chance, and then they equalised, and then they scored the winner in extra time to knock us out. And then we got beat by Belgium in the 3rd place playoff. First tournament for Gareth Southgate. It's been good. Not great. It's been good. He kind of won a lot of fans a bit over. He's kind of like he got us into a semi-finals of a World Cup for the first time since Italy 90. Yeah, Croatia. It's heartbreaking. Then moving on to the Nations League. I remember the group we drew. This is a group we drew alongside Croatia, Spain. It was a free group. It's a free group. 3-team group. Croatia, Spain. Lost to Spain. Beat Spain 3-2 at their ground because they beat us at Wembley. The Croatia game was 0-0, but we're beating at Wembley. We advanced into the Nations League semi-finals. We play against the Dutch, and we got beat. We're leading 1-0, but they overturned that lead at, I think it was at extra time to knock us out. We beat Switzerland on penalties in the 3rd place playoff, came 3rd. Even though I don't count it as a second tournament, I don't really count that as a proper tournament, So moving on to the second tournament, that is Euro 2020, or actually Euro 2021, because they delayed it due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I remember the group. We're drawing Group D alongside Croatia, Scotland, and the Czech Republic. We really got in those games against Croatia. When we beat Croatia at Wembley in the Nations League and our opener at Euro 2020, because we got our revenge on the Croats because they knocked us out in the World Cup semi-finals in Russia. Beat them in our opening game of Group D of the Euros. Scotland, we drew 0-0. We beat the Czechs 1-0, and we got Germany in the last 16. Don't know going into it. People say in last year, it's a weak Germany team. It's a deplete German team. Actually, I'm going to show you the team news because people like to rewrite history. Okay, Euro 21. Oh, it says actually it's Euro 2020. Euro 20. I'll go on Wikipedia because, like I said, people are going to rewrite history, say, "Oh, this is a weakened German team." It's not. Let's see, knockout. Okay, knockout stage. Knockout stage. There we are. 29th of June. So that was on the Tuesday. It says 6. It's actually It's actually a 5 o'clock kickoff because it's in England. Check. June 29th. 29th of June. It was on a Tuesday. So anyway, let's pick this is the German team when we face England. So this is the German team. So the starting lineup for Germany in that game against England back in 2021 in the knockout stage of the Euros. So in goal we've got Manuel Neuer, Matthias Ginter, Matt Hummels, Antonio Rudiger, Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, Toni Kroos, Ruben Gosens, Kai Havertz, Thomas Müller, and Timo Werner. So what the fuck is that? In what Mickey Mouse thought that is a weak team? It's not. It was a decent team. We beat them. Fucking assholes, man. I'm not going to go into it, They were assholes. How is it a weak German team? Yeah, it's not the German team from the era of Ballack, Podolski, Schweinsteiger, but we beat Germany. I thought, yes, we beat Germany in a major tournament. I think it was the first time we beat them since Euro 2000. It said it was the first time we beat Germany in a knockout stage of a tournament since the 1966 World Cup, because even though we beat Germany in the Euros in 2000, but that we beat them in the group stage, but we never beat them in the knockout stage of a major tournament. They beat us in the quarterfinals of Mexico 70, because we were the world champions back then. Then Italian 90 in the semifinals, penalty shootouts, guys have cried. Then we got Euro 96 in the semifinals at home soil, penalty shootout, Gaza missed that opportunity to win it at extra time with the golden goal. Southgate missed the penalty. And then the last time we meet Germany off a knockout stage of a tournament was the World Cup in 2010. Frank Lampard's goal was disallowed. That was the birth of goal-line technology. And now this game in 2021. So anyway, let's move on. Fast forward to the quarterfinals. Yeah, we beat Ukraine 4-0. And Denmark, I think the Danish game was the hardest game we have. Don't get me wrong, because they had Schmeichel. I think they got Højbjerg, but we pushed them into the extra time. Harry Kane scored that winning penalty. First final since 1966. And then we got Italy in the final. Luke Shaw scored the early goal. We thought we were going to win it, but we kind of set back. Bonucci scored the equalizer. Then we get it going into penalties, and then you got the black players got racial abuse on social media. Rashford, Sancho, and Saka. Missing the penalties. Italy's first Euros since 1968. And then moving on to the horrifying Nations League campaign. We had that second one in 2020/21, but you should have really got out of group. Should have reached another Nations League finals appearance, because we're in the group of Belgium, Denmark, and I think it was Iceland. I think. Anyway, and people talk about that horrifying Nations League in 2022. I was on paper thought, look, a bit confidence, We've got Italy, Germany, and Hungary. We can get our revenge on the Italians because they beat us at Wembley in the Euro final 1 year prior and beaten Germany. But I think we drew twice against the Germans, drew against Italy at home at Molineux. They beat us, I think it was at the San Siro. I might be wrong. I think we got pound 4-0 by Hungary, got relegated. Then moving on to the World Cup in Qatar in 2022, that year. Group B, Wales, Iran, the United States of America, beat Iran 6-2. Then drew against the Americans 0-0, beat Wales 3-0, got Senegal, beat 3-0. And then we got the French. Shoot him any shots, his goal was good. You can't blame Pickford for that, And then we had chances. You know, Bellingham shot. We're testing out Lloris. Kane scored that penalty to equalise, get us back in the game. Maguire missed that header. And then Drew scored that winning goal. I think it was in the 78th minute. And then we thought we got another penalty, VIR, you know, Upamecano's, or Hernandez, I think he fouled Mount. Kane missed that penalty. And it's all over. You know, you can thought that should be the end of Southgate's tenure as England manager. And then we're going into the tournament. We're going into the qualification campaign of Euro 2024. I'm rambling points. I'm trying to get my points across. This is going to be a little bit of a long stream. Anyway, so we beat Italy. I remember it's our first game in the qualification campaign of this Euros. We've done the double over the Italians. You know, I think it was the first time we beat Italy since 1961, and then we beat them at home. You know, and then we qualified. You got a lot of shtick, you know, in September of last year. You know, we drew against Ukraine 1-1. Picking Harry Maguire had played any games at the time. You know, he scored an own goal against Scotland, but anyway, let's fast forward of this year. We lost to Brazil, drew against Belgium. Yeah, that's in the friendlies. And then we lost to Iceland 1 month ago at Wembley. That was the last game before we're heading to the Euros, you know. And then let's talk about this tournament. Easy group. Once again, we drew alongside Serbia, Denmark, and Slovenia. Beat Serbia 1-0. We should have really beat them. We're playing players out of their positions. You know, so I think it was a 4-2-3-1. Foden on the wings. Trent as a midfielder. Trippier as a left back. You know, because Shaw's still recovering from with a hamstring problem or leg problem, whatever it is. You know, Shaw haven't played a game since February. And then we got the win. That's all that matter. And then we go to going into the second game against Denmark. Hurricane scored a goal. We thought we're going to qualify with 6 points, and then Denmark, you know, scored, and then we drew 1-1. You know, it's funny that we beat them in the Euro semi-finals 3 years prior, 3 years on. They drew 1-1. I feel like it's more like a defeat than a draw. Then going to the last game of the group stage of the Euros against Slovenia, drew 0-0, barely any target, you know. Fans were throwing, I think it was like paper cuts towards Southgate. Qualified top, and we got Slovakia. Same crap, you know, 4-2-3-1, playing Foden, Trippier out of his neutral position. And I think like in the final group game against Slovenia, he replaced Trent for Conor Gallagher, and then he got subbed on for Kobe Mino, and then going into the game against Slovakia in the last 16 of the Euros, he played Kobe Mino. That was a good upgrade. Still playing Trippier out of his position, playing Foden out of his position. Slovakia scored that goal. I think he's called Strantz, you know, 1-0. We had chances. Kane, you know, Foden's goal was ruled out due to VAR. It was offside. Kane missed that header. Declan Rice hit the post. We were seconds away, again, knocked out in the last 16 by Slovakia. Boom, Jude Bellingham scored that overhead kick. Pushed against extra time. Kane scored the winning goal in the first half of extra time to put us into the the Euros quarterfinal against the Swiss. The turning point was, you know, playing 3 in the back. You know, it kind of worked. I think he played Saka as a right wing back. You know, Trippier. I think Saka as a left wing back or right wing back. Trippier as a left. I think Trippier was a right wing back. Saka was a left wing back. You know, Foden in the number 10 role. Thought they're going to win. Brie Imbinalo scored that goal. Saka scored that cracking goal. Pushed that game to penalties. And then this time there were confidence. We beat Switzerland 5-3. Moving on to the semi-finals against the Dutch. First time we met them in a major tournament since Euro 96. You know, they scored that cracking goal against Javi Simon. And then, you know, Harry Kane's got that penalty, even though I don't think it's a penalty in my opinion, but he scored. Going into the 90 minutes of the second, we were good in the first half. In the second half, we kind of drop off a bit. And then the 9 minutes of the second half in the game, Southgate brings up Cole Palmer and Ollie Watkins. Watkins scored that goal. Boom. We're in our first final in foreign soil, because the last two finals were at home. This time we're in a foreign soil, you know, in overseas. You thought maybe we could win the Euros. We got Spain. Shaw played for the first time. We were quiet in the first half. Second half, we were capitulated. You know, Nico Williams scored that goal. People switched off. You know, Shaw kind of kept Lamine Yamal quiet. Cole Palmer scored that cracking goal, doing his celebration. And then the diamonds of the second half of the game, Rasabal scored that winner. Guy header was denied by Olmo. Rice trying to score for the rebound was over, and Spain won it. Back-to-back Euro finals were lost. Lost the Italians at Wembley. Now we lost to the Spaniards in Berlin. And now Southgate's gone. So yeah, I'm talking about his tenure there. Yeah, his criticism. Yeah, Southgate's criticism over the years is picking his favourites. You know, I think Southgate is a bit too safe at this moment in time. He should have took some risk. You know, I feel sorry for the guy. You know, he did go us to two finals and the semi-finals. You know, I'm not going to count that quarterfinals against the French, but I'm talking again to. He got England to into the closing stage of a major tournament as a World Cup and the Euros. Yeah, he should have really won it. You know, it'd be cool he won it. You know, I don't think he'll get a knighthood. I don't know he's going to get a knighthood now. I think he could still get a knighthood. You know, because of his service with England. You know, I think he's the first England manager to spend 8 years since Bobby Robson. So. Most of the time with England managers, they only stayed about 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. Southgate stayed for 8 years. That's nearly a decade, you know. I think he has to, because I think his contract was expiring until December, so that can keep them. That will keep him until the upcoming Nations League campaign in September. So he'll probably, let me see if he didn't resign today. Stay on until that Nations League thing, you know, trying to get England back into the League One position for the next Nations League. He'll, you know, I wish he'd stay there, but I think it's time. I think what's next for Southgate now, you know, because because I think he got England relegated. I think it was, you know. Yeah, if he did not, like I said, if he did not resign today, I think his last campaign will be that upcoming Nations League campaign in September. We got Ireland and Finland. Is it 3 groups is it 3 teams or 4 teams? I can't remember. I'm gonna check. England national team. Let's see, I'm checking. We got Ireland, Finland, and Greece. So, yeah, Ireland, Finland, and Greece. So, if he didn't resign today, his last campaign will be this Nations League. He'll probably do that Nations League, then call it a day, and then get someone else. I don't want to talk about who will be the next England manager. I'll probably do it in a next foreseeable future video. But I don't know, man. Like, I could see Southgate taking another job. He'll probably take a break from now. I think it's too stressful. I think the media's criticize him. Was it personally and professionally. Mostly professionally, I think it's like sometimes it's bang out of water, going after a guy, like bashing the guy personally instead of professionally, because you're not going to beat the guy personally, But yeah, but I can see Southgate working behind the scenes with the FA. I don't think he'll take another job in football. Becoming the next, go back to club management or go manage another international team. He'll probably work behind the scenes. He's a proud Englishman. He said he's a proud Englishman. He was. I think it was an honor, playing for England and manage England. So yeah, I think he'll probably, we don't know, but I want to do two future videos on this. I'm going to talk about briefly, the candidates for England. I'm on high with Eddie Howe, but is he going to leave Newcastle? I really want Eddie Howe because I don't think he's another yes man. I think what he did, so far in his management career, like with Bournemouth, he I think like he they were about to get relegated to the Conference League. He's kept them up. I think he left. I think he got promoted. I think it was left or promoted. He probably got promoted. Then he went to Burnley, came back to Bournemouth, back-to-back promotions, to the Championship, now to the top flight for the first time. When was the last time they actually performed? I think this is the first time ever. I don't know if they're actually compete in the Premier League or the top flight. He got Bournemouth top flight football for the first time. And he kept him up for the next 5 years. In Bournemouth's first season in the Premier League, beat like Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Man United at home, then the following season beat Liverpool and Arsenal. I think he did. Bournemouth under Eddie Howe kind of show up against the top 16 instead of Man City. Then he got relegated. Then Bournemouth got relegated. He stepped down, took a break from management. Then he went to Newcastle because Newcastle had the Saudi owners. He took over that first half season at the club, gone like out of relegation into mid-table. Then his first full season, gone into a cup final. Lost to Man United. That was the League Cup final, aka the EFL Cup or the Carabao Cup. And then got into Champions League football for the first time in 20 years. And then last season, done bits there. I really want it. He plays a good attacking good brand of football. He's my first candidate. Graham Potter for me, I like the guy. I feel like he's going to be another yes man, but he was unlucky at Chelsea. He should have stayed at Brighton. I think it was too early to go to Chelsea. It was too big for him. He was out of his depth. It's not his fault. I don't think. Yeah, you got to sack him, but it's not his fault. I think Bowley is the problem, so he left. I can see him going back to football anytime soon. He's a good coach. I think we'll get the England job. I think Potter will get the Newcastle job because why? Saudi money. He reject going back to Brighton. They got a decent budget, but they are the two choices. I'm not a huge fan of Mauricio Pochettino. He is what's the word? I'm not too sure. What's the word? Damaged goods. Yeah, that's right. Damaged goods. He is damaged goods at this moment in time. I fancy Klopp, but let's be honest, I think he'll take a year off from management. But I think I heard rumors that he's he kind of turned down an offer to manage the American national team because They've got the World Cup over the horizon in 2 years' time, but yeah, he's turned down for that. He's a good. I think he's an elite manager, Klopp, because with Dortmund, gegenpressing, he mastermind guy in Liverpool to their first league title in 30 years. He made Liverpool competitive, in domestically and Europe. One matter we've got, if he takes the England job, I think it'd be very controversial because he's German. You imagine a German managing an English team. But I think tradition needs to be broken. But it'd be cool to see Klopp manage England. We'll probably win a World Cup, and then we might win the World Cup in America, Canada, Mexico, or the next Euros in the UK. But that's the upcoming options. I'll talk about it when I do the video on that. It's coming soon, guys. So yeah, I think the problem with why England failed to win any major tournament ever since after we won the World Cup in 1966. I think our game is weak. I think the infrastructure of England of producing good. We produced good English players over the last few decades, but we're struggling to find a perfect good English coach. I'm talking about briefly. I'll probably do a future video on that, But I think it's just the infrastructure. It's funny. Like you see other countries, they're producing good coaches. Like Spain produced good coaches over the years, like the Pep Guardiolas, Luis Enrique, Unai Emery, De La Fuente is a good coach. You could say, I'm trying to think of another Spanish coach. It's hard to say. Spanish coach. Del Bosque, I know it's like he's recently retired, was a good coach, he mastermind, with Real Madrid winning the Champions League, La Liga, with the Galacticos, with Zidane and R9s and Figos, in that early 2000s. And then he guided mastermind Spain winning the first World Cup and retained the Euros in 2012. First international team to win all 3 tournaments. Spain produced really good coaches. The Germans produced good coaches over the years, like with Thomas Tuchel and Jurgen Klopp. And then the Dutch is a mixed bag. Like over the Rinus Michels, Johan Cruyff, Louis van Gaal, Dick Advocaat to Eric Ten Hag, Portugal with AVB, Jose Mourinho, Cosenchao, I don't know, Ruben Amorim, Nuno Espirito Santo. Italy has some good coaches, over the years, but with England, I'm going off the topic, man. But with England, we are struggling to produce good English coaches. The 2 best English coaches so far has to be Eddie Howe and Graham Potter. I can't find another English coach. Here's a fun fact, there is no, in the history of the English Premier League, the 32-year history of the English Premier League, there's never have been an English coach winning the Premier League. Never. 32 years of the Premier League, no English coach has won the English Premier League. There has never have been an English coach winning the Champions League or the European Cup, but the last English coach won the European Cup was Joe Fagan back in 1984. But in the Champions League era, there's never been an English coach. The last English coach won the FA Cup was Harry Redknapp. And the last, I'm slurring, Lash. The way I pronounce last. I mean last, sorry. Lash. God, I'm so like Sean Connery. Shaken, not stirred. The last, I'm trying to say last. So the last, I'm gonna say it again. The last English coach to win the European Cup was Joe Fagan. The last English coach to win the FA Cup was Harry Redknapp. The last English coach to win the League Cup was Steve McLaren. It's just like a very scary stat, in the Premier League, in the history of the English Premier League, there's been foreigners. The only British coach won the English Premier League was Alex Ferguson. In the 32 years of the English Premier League, we got Alex Ferguson and Kenny Dalglish won the Premier League. They were Scottish, the Scotsman. Arsene Wenger, a Frenchman. Jose Mourinho, a Portuguese. Antonio Conte, Carlo Ancelotti, Roberto Mancini, Claudio Ranieri. I think that's three. Yeah, there's been four. Ancelotti, Ranieri, Conte, and Mancini. So yeah, four. Four of them has been Italian. I'm going to say it again. Ancelotti, Mancini, Ranieri, and Conte. Four Italians. Manuel Pellegrini. He's the only manager from South America to win the Premier League. And basically the only South American manager to win a league title in the English top flight. And we got Jurgen Klopp, a German, and Pep Guardiola, a Spaniard. Well, actually, he's Catalonian. Pep could be on the list of becoming England manager. I also see him managing Spain because he's Catalonian. It's still part of Spain, but that's another story for another time. Tuchel for me, no. I think he's more suited to manage Germany, but good, he's a good coach. But my fear is they're gonna give it to Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard. Good players over the years, good players in my lifetime, but they're not really turning out as good coaches. 1 second, folks. My laptop is dying. Need to charge it. I'm gonna end the stream pretty soon, and it's the first of many. Like I said. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not gonna get into it. I'm talking about briefly. I'll probably do. I'll explain more in future videos of this. Who the next England manager and the English game. Why we're not producing good English coaches. That's another video for another time. But yeah. So with Gareth Southgate, 8 years. 102 wins. Not 102 wins. 102 matches. Can't remember how many games he won. I think he won most knockout games than any England manager. Reached 2 Euro finals, a World Cup semi-final, and finished third of the first Nations League in 2019. To place Gareth Southgate, I put him. He's got to be in the top 4, alongside Sir Alf Ramsey, because he's the only one to won England a major trophy, the World Cup in 1966. Sir Bobby Robson, even though he's before my time. Terry Venables, and now Gareth Southgate. like Spen, you know, put in the top 5, you know, like since Southgate, you know, before Southgate, you know, we've gone nowhere near of getting in the closing stages of a major tournament. Like under the Sven Eriksson era, you know, you know, in the Sven Eriksson era, we only get into the quarterfinal stage of a World Cup and the Euros. You know, we've got the golden generation. You know, the Beckhams, Rooneys, Gerrards, Lampards, John Terrys, Rio Ferdinands, Campbell, Coles, David James, Paul Robinson, Joe Cole, them lot. You know, because I think that's another video I want to talk about, the golden generation. You know, talk about that period between 2002 to probably 2006. You know, in that time period, you know, like compared to the golden generation now to this generation with Kane, Bellingham, Walker, Stones, Saka, Foden, Rice, them lot. You know. In the story in the golden generation era from in the 2000s, you know, in the eras of the Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard era, like, you know, you got the Arsenal you know, you got like Rio, Rooney, Gary Neville, you know, representing the Man United camp, Cole and Campbell of the Arsenal camp, John Terry, Joe Cole, Frank Lampard of the Chelsea camp, Carragher and Gerrard in the Liverpool camp. You know, they kind of hate each other. They didn't really work as a team. You know, there's stories that, you know, they refused to eat together at breakfast because they just keep their club rivalry aside when they represent their country, and that's why the golden generation around between 02 to 06 didn't win anything. They never worked together. It's not just England. There's most countries producing golden crop of players who never won anything because it's individual players. I think with Southgate, when he first came along, he kind of brought this bunch of players together to play together. With, you know, because they're not like they kind of put their club rivalry aside for the country and work together. And, you know, it kind of worked. You know, that unify fronts. You know, you know, if you're building a team, whether it's like, you know, if you're like trying to like, if you're a club manager or the international manager, you want to get it. If you want the players on the same side, you've got to have that unified front. Otherwise, you're not going to win anything. You know, with this team, they kind of work together. They kind of get the things together. You know, they're not like individuals. You know, they're not like act like their shits don't stink. You know, I heard rumors like Jude is falling out with falling out with the English players. I don't know who they are, but you know, I know who they are, but I don't know who. This whole thing, it's just a rumor, but what my point is, you know, he kind of got that. They kind of put their club rivalry aside for the country, and it's kind of working. We got further in major tournaments. You know, it's a shame we didn't win it. You know, but I think it was the right time. You know, I don't know if we won on Sunday, I think he'll still leave. I think his time was. I think he's run his course as England manager 8 years. You know, he's getting criticised. You know, his favoritism, playing that defensive, boring style of football. You know, he plays too safe. I think that's my only nitpick about Southgate. He plays too safe. You need a manager who's like take some risk. You know, gamble. If we're going 1-0 down, trying to push it to going to extra time penalties, you know, I think he ain't the man. So yeah, I wish him luck for his future. You know, I think he did a brave thing to step down. You know, I think the English job is about. I think any job is so hostile sometimes, and it's also stressful. It's so stressed sometimes. You know, you know. like it's just like you have to deal with the. He managed to press properly, but at this moment in time, I think he's just lost that. They're just getting sick of him, and he's just go, "Hey man, I'm done." I feel sorry. Feel sorry for him. I think I think the rumors like he's a nice guy in real life. I haven't met him in real life. I've been, and also for months now he's been linked with the Man United job. I don't think he will go there. I think he'll take a break. Like I don't know about Deschamps. He's in that situation now. He's about to leave. He's kind of outstay his cause as managing the French national team. International football is a bit hard. Like any job in football is hard. Trying to manage the players. Don't get you got to get that unifying bond. You got to get. I think he kind of lost a bit of the dressing room. And yeah, I think the performance at the Euros for England, or most countries, been disappointed. Like some big nations underperform. Look at the French. Failed to score any goals in open play. Open play in any teams they fought in the Euros, in the group stages, in the last 16, in the quarterfinals against Portugal. They only scored one goal in open play. That was against Spain in the semi-finals. For England, look at Harry Kane dropped so much deep. But this is one more word before I'm gonna end the stream. I think the next manager needs to break that team up. Like a little bit, we've got, get rid of the guys like, I think Trippier and Walker, the two kind of all at this moment in time, they need to retire from international football. Kane, I think he will do the World Cup. I think he will play the World Cup in America, Canada, and Mexico in 2026, and then he'll probably do the same thing. We've got some good players like up front with Watkins and Tony. Palmer's a good player. We've got some crop of young players, and I think we can produce more and more and more. I think the production line for England is still good. Most production lines around the world, mostly in Europe, is not really that good. Italy's production line is crap. Spain's production line is okay. The Dutch production line is not there. I can go on and on and on, but it's just what it is. So anyway, guys, I'm going to end the stream, folks. So what's your thoughts on Gareth Southgate? Who's going to replace Gareth Southgate? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Smash like button, click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. That's my main channel. And also subscribe to this channel, Central Man Sports, we're gonna do more. We're gonna do some live stream on football. And also this is not just a football channel, but a sports channel. A lot of rugby, whether it's rugby league or rugby union, and might do some American sports. So a lot of live streaming to come. For the foreseeable month for the rest of 2024. So I can't wait. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day or evening, whatever parts of the world you're from. And this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.